Okay guys, so I had a kind of awkward experience at Walmart, and this is like the second time it's happened to me. I think maybe I look too nice and approachable. So basically, this girl comes up to me. First she compliments like my water bottle, and I'm like, I already kind of knew she was about to give me a spiel. At first I thought she was gonna like ask me for money or something, because you know that's sometimes what these people do. But basically she was like, oh, like my name's this, what's your name? Yeah. And then she goes on and does her spiel about like some church that she goes to. Now here's the thing, it's either like some sect of Jehovah's Witnesses that do this, or I don't know, or some like other kind of like cult-ish Christian cult type of church, because she listed like a explora of names, the sanctified brothers of something, and I was just like, I let her do it and then politely told her, no thank you, I'm not interested. But this is like the second time this has happened. Well, it's probably been more than 2 times, but like recently. The other time I was at the mall, and at first I thought this girl was just friendly, and then she texted me about some like Zoom meeting, and they start with like, oh, it's a Bible study. But when you actually get in, it's like actually just a very much so a cult. But anyways, what I wanted to comment on is like, it's nice that like they're so bold with as much as like the need they feel. Well, I don't know, for cults it's kind of like that may be part of like they're told like, oh, if you're not doing this you're not saved or something like that. But as a Christian, it's always just like it does take a level of bravery, I guess, to like go up to a complete stranger and try to, you know, preach whatever you're preaching. Now to me, if it's not the gospel according to the Bible, then I don't want it. But ultimately, I feel like as Christians we should be as bold in sharing our faith with strangers too, and not be like worried about being awkward, which I think is why street preachers and stuff exist to begin with. But I also just think it's like, even though I don't agree necessarily with like it's the best method, it's commendable at least. It's like, it shows that like those people have faith in what they're preaching, that they're willing to create maybe awkward situations for most people, but they're still putting themselves out there, and that's more than some Christians do. And as Christians, we are called to spread the gospel. Me personally, I don't try to force the gospel. Well, here's the thing, I'm not forcing the gospel on people, but I'm very candid about the fact that I am a Christian and share my experiences and my, you know, things I've learned from my faith as a Christian. And why did I think I heard an ambulance? But it's also just important to make sure that you're not like crossing boundaries with people, where it's like, you know, it shouldn't make someone feel uncomfortable. So, you know, I'm more of a like, if the conversation comes naturally. Now there have been times where I feel like I maybe should have said something and didn't, and those are the moments where I'm like, man, like this maybe was a good opening for me to share like how it's my faith in God that's brought me to XYZ place. But you know, it is kind of hard to do that sometimes as Christians, but that's something I want to be better about, is just being like, I guess I'm very vocal obviously on like my YouTube video and channels, but like in real life situations, being more willing to like talk about it. And I feel like, I guess I shy away from it at times, because it can feel kind of awkward in certain situations, and you don't want to come across as pushy. So it's like finding a balance between like not feeling like you're being pushy, but also sharing like your actual experiences with people who maybe it could help, or it could, you know, open their eyes to something that they didn't consider. So I feel like there's definitely a balance, but I also think like there's always going to be some pushback anti-Christianity, anti-Jesus, and they will find a way to like villainize anyone who shares the gospel as, oh, you're being forceful, you're pushing your beliefs on me. It's like, just because someone is sharing their beliefs is not them forcing you to believe it. And if it's someone on the street that you don't have to listen to and you can easily walk away, I feel like there's instances like that where I've heard people say those types of things, but it's like, you're not forced to interact with someone who's on the street. If they're in a public place, they have as much right to be there as anyone else. Whether or not you agree with what they're saying, you don't have to interact or agree. You're not forced to believe or follow those things. So I feel like those instances are type of a reach. Now, if you're in a country where they're like, if you don't follow our religion, you can't come, or you can't eat, or you can't participate, or you can't do that, that maybe is forcing religion. Like, your livelihood is at stake if you are not participating, or if your life is threatened because you're not following that person's beliefs. That's a different story. But that is not what a lot of these that's not what street preachers are doing, because they're sharing the gospel. Someone standing on the side of the road with a sign and you're like, I don't agree with that sign, you can just move on. Like, I don't know. Sometimes people put too much into certain things. Anyways, I just wanted to share that experience because I thought it was quite interesting, but also just like a reminder that, you know, you should be more forthcoming, and I should be more forthcoming in sharing my faith and with people in the world. Just maybe not in a way that's like, I would say I would want to be very genuine about it and not, you know, like try to create, I don't know. And maybe that's something that I'll grow. Maybe it's like you can find a moment for it. But for me, I want it to be like, I always want it to come from like a very genuine place and not like a forceful. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing my ideas on people. If I'm sharing what I believe, I'm just sharing what I believe. That's not the same as forcing someone to believe it. If I'm like this, well, at the end of the day, everyone is entitled to their opinions. No one has to agree with my stance or my beliefs or my views, but it's not going to change how I feel or how I view the world. Like, knowing that someone else doesn't agree with me is not taking something away from me. And that's what I kind of don't understand, why some people are offended by someone's belief in God. Like, my belief in God does not stop you from not believing in God, but it's almost like there's some people who are threatened by someone else. When someone's threatened by your beliefs, it's kind of like, why does my belief threaten yours? I guess this just comes to the point where it's like everyone can't be right. So it's just like you have to, I mean, there's just certain things you can't agree on. Like, you can't agree God both exist and doesn't exist. There's such thing as like competing, what's it called? Oh, absolutes. It's called something that I can't think of, but it's just like, if this is true, this isn't true. Like, that's an absolute truth statement, I think is what that's referred to. I don't know. I don't really argue or listen to debates and stuff like that much, so I don't know like a lot of debate terms and jargon or whatever, but I just know like there's a theory, not even a theory, but a concept that is like, if A is true, B can't be true. It's like these two ideas are not compatible, so it's either one or the other has to be true. Like, it can't be true both that God is real and God isn't real. So I guess the point of contention that someone who doesn't believe in God is threatened by is that someone's belief in God threatens their belief that God doesn't exist. So maybe that's why they're bothered. I don't know. But my belief in God is not threatened by someone not believing in God, because it's like, I have something. I have a belief versus someone has a doubt. And a doubt is disbelief. It's like it's anti-belief. I don't know. I'm overthinking things. Anyways, that's all I wanted to share.